Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuouki Demon of the Fleeting Blossom. We are on Sanosuke Harada's route, in Chapter 3, I believe, and Sonon has gone into fury mode, and unfortunately, he has us in his grasp. So, let's see how the situation pans out. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. The strength of his grip was unbelievable. His fingers might have been made of stone for all I could move them. I could almost feel the bones of my arm begin to bend under the strain. Ow! Sonon! Blood. This blood. His finger pressed against my arm too hard, wiping off some of the blood from the cup the soldier had given me. Please, give me blood. Your blood. No! Let me go!
Stop it, Sonon. Damn it, the smell of blood's driving him crazy. Let her go, Sonon.
Each man still had his hand on his sword, but I could see the hesitation in their eyes. It was Hijikata who finally spoke.
Hold him down. We're gonna have to get a little rough. Damn it, guess we don't have a choice. Sorry about this, Sonon. I can't let you hurt Chizuru.
They moved into a circle around Sonon, their blades glinting.
Are you going to kill Sonon? I can't allow you to do that.
Stay out of this, Ito.
Ito, it's dangerous here. We should just leave this to Toshi and the guys. Come on. Kondo, what are you? Unhand me.
Kondo pulled a struggling Ito out of the room and off down the hall.
Good. Now we just gotta take care of him. It's not gonna be easy.
Clearly.
Sonon's always been pretty strong, but now he's, well, you know. Blood. Yes, my body. It needs the blood.
His tongue flickered out to lick my blood from his fingers.
Alright, that's enough. Come on, Shin. Sano, let's go. We all attack together. Wait. What? We don't have all night, Hijikata. He's doing something.
Yeah, he was licking blood off his fingers.
Sonon, what's going on? What happened?
The madness was gone from Sonon's eyes, and his hair was quickly fading back to its normal color. Sonon!
Yukimura, what am I doing here?
Oh, thank goodness. You're yourself again. I was relieved to see that they hadn't been forced to cut Sonon down, but why had you returned to normal?
What the hell just happened? Your guess is as good as mine. Hell if I know.
The captains weren't the only ones confused. Sonon himself seemed to be just as surprised at his sudden transformation.
I see. So I went mad just like the others.
And then all of a sudden you were normal again. I just can't understand how.
How? I don't know. We can figure that out later. First, we need to clean up this room. Someone get rid of that body. That floor mat's gonna have to go. And we're gonna have to replace this door.
Each of them moved to begin some task that needed doing, and Hijikata turned toward me.
You.
Yes, of course, I'll help too.
You're hurt. What you need to do is rest.
Oh.
Since you obviously can't use your room, you can stay in mine for tonight.
Your room? Are you sure? But I want to stay in Harada's room.
Do I have a choice? Go.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be so hard playing everybody else's route when Hijikata cares about me. Why you do this to me, Hijikata? I had no desire to remain in the blood-soaked room any longer than I had to. It took me only minutes to reach Hijikata's room. Huh? Is it morning already? The sun was peeking through the window, and outside I could hear twitters and chirps of birdsong. Oh, right. The room I was in wasn't mine. It took me a moment to remember whose room it was, and then all the events of the previous night crowded back into my memory. I saw vividly the man who'd gone mad with bloodlust, felt the sting at his sword bite into my arm. I got cut. I looked down at my arm. I'd wrapped it in bandages the night before after insisting that I could handle it myself, being the daughter of a doctor. Slowly I lifted it, then moved it in a circle. The cut had bled a lot, but fortunately it hadn't been particularly deep. I moved my arm some more. It didn't hurt. It bled so much, though. With deliberate care, I unwrapped the bandages. Of course. What had been an ugly open wound the night before was now little more than a faint white line. In a few days, even that would be gone. Well, I guess it's good that the wound is gone, but if anyone sees this... After some thought, I rewrapped the bandages. Unless they took them off, no one would know that my arm was completely healed underneath. That reminded me, however, how are they doing? I was awake, so I figured I might as well go out to the common room and see if anyone was there. As I neared the entrance, Ito appeared on his way out. Heisuke and Saito followed in his wake, much to my confusion. Good morning.
Oh, it's you. Good morning. I'm glad to see you're safe and sound.
Thank you. His mood was almost the polar opposite of the previous night. He seemed now to be in rather high spirits. Well, that's kind of odd and I don't trust it. Has something happened?
Oh ho ho. Would you like to know?
Yes.
I won't tell you.
You jerk.
Well, you'll learn soon enough. Isn't that right, Toto? Saito?
What? I cocked an eyebrow at Heisuke and Saito.
Yeah, I guess.
The moment our eyes met, he looked away. That seemed odd. Saito?
You have no need for this information just now.
Unlike his companion, Saito met my gaze straight on, but his eyes were flat and utterly devoid of emotion.
We should go, Ito. Yeah. See ya, Chizuru.
And then they were gone, leaving me wondering what had just happened.
Are you sure it's alright for you to be up and about already?
Inoue and Shimada looked up as soon as I stepped into the common room. I'm fine. I slept really well and I feel a lot better. Well, you're new?
That's great. I'm sorry about what happened to you, though. Does your cut hurt?
Oh, well, actually it wasn't very deep. It barely hurts at all. I couldn't tell him the truth, of course, that it was already almost completely healed. Oh, I ran into Ito on my way in. Did something happen?
Oh, so you saw them, eh?
He frowned. He said something weird. He and Heisuke and Saito were acting kind of strange, too.
Yeah, well, Ito and some others are leaving.
Is he taking people with him?
They're going to form a new group, different from the Shinsengumi.
What? Is that okay?
He had a meeting this morning with the chief and Commander Hijikata. Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Yes, I intend to take some of my comrades and leave. We will be appointed official guardians of the Imperial Mausoleum. I have been considering such a move for some time now, but after last night's excitement, I felt this was the right time. I knew when I joined the Shinsengumi that my imperialism might not be welcome, but I thought we could work past that. I see now I was mistaken. Just spit it out, Ito. You want to split up the Shinsengumi. Call it what you like, but I can no longer remain in the company of savages such as yourself. If you insist, then I will do as you ask. But you must remember, however, that last night's incident is a result of orders from the shogunate. We cannot allow you to reveal this secret. Then I propose a deal. Allow me to depart peacefully, and in return I will remain silent.
No!
I also wish to bring several of your men with me.
Why? You have plenty of your own.
Very well, but anyone you wish must agree to leave. Of course. I will, naturally, maintain the fiction that we intend to continue to cooperate with one another. A stance that will no doubt benefit both of us. Cooperation. Fine. Toshi, what do you think? It's your decision, not mine.
Then, Heisuke and Saito... No.
Yes, they are leaving with Ito. I confess I'm rather surprised.
No. Then, would that mean I can never see them again?
Don't worry. Remember what I said? We're going to keep relations amicable between our two organizations.
Kondo. It was kind of him to try and comfort me, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to befall the Shinsengumi and its members.
You aren't going to let the men interact with the guard, though, right?
The expression on his face was likely a mirror of my own.
Of course not. He gets to leave, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let him get away with whatever he wants.
But is that really okay? Ito and the others leaving, I mean.
Ito and his men leaving isn't a problem.
Ijikata's voice was flat, but unconcerned.
Although, I was a little surprised that Heisuke and Saito decided to go with that snake. I would say it was more than a little.
From there, the conversation moved on to a discussion of politics and the like that was beyond my ability to follow. And what could I have said anyway? The decision had already been made, and there's nothing I could have said to change it. I got up quietly and left the common room. I never would have thought something like this could happen. I was especially worried about the soldiers. What about the feelings of those who were left behind? I wanted to know how the people of the Shinsengumi felt about Ito and his followers leaving. I decided to ask someone close to the people who were leaving. I don't know who that would be, but that's what we're going to do. Perhaps it would be best for me to talk to someone who was close to Heisuke and Saito. I'd only known them since I'd come to Kyoto, and their departure was making me miserable. The rest of the Shinsengumi must have known them much longer than that. How were those closest to them feeling? As I was trying to think of who to talk to first, Nagakura and Harada walked out of the common room.
Hey, sorry you had to go through all that last night. You're feeling well enough to be up and about, huh?
Yes, I'm alright.
That cut doesn't hurt. You had me worried, you know.
The genuine concern on their faces warmed my heart. They were good men. All of the captains were good men, which only made it that much more heartbreaking that some of them were leaving us.
So, we have to kill one of our own guys, and Ito finds out about the Corps. I gotta say, I've had better nights.
About Ito, how do you guys feel about Heisuke and Saito? About them leaving, I mean.
Oh, that.
His face twisted into a bitter grimace.
Heisuke didn't tell us crap. I'm gonna kill that little bastard. Well, I'm sure he's not just doing it on a whim. If that was his decision, there's not really a whole lot we can do about it, is there?
He flashed a crooked smile.
By the way, how do you feel about Kondo these days?
Kondo? What do you mean? Kondo didn't seem any different to me than he had the first day I'd met him.
You don't think he's gotten a little arrogant lately? And he was too easy on Ito and his buddies. Why do you think they're so high and mighty now?
I think he's a little bit of a pushover is all. Do you disagree with the chief and the commander?
No, not exactly. Anyway, I'm glad to see Ito out of here. He pissed me off. Still, I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of time before we end up crossing swords with him. Ito and his cronies, I mean.
Harada's words struck me as unpleasantly prescient, although I didn't know why. There was still one more thing I needed to ask them, though. What will you do if we do have to fight them?
Well, if there are enemies, then I'll have to kill them. That's the duty of the Shinsengumi. It's probably what Hijikata would say.
They gave each other a look, their faces grim.
Honestly, though, if we do have to fight them, eventually, I really don't know if I could do it.
Their voices had faded to little more than a murmur. My wound healed completely soon afterward, but I kept the bandage on. I got plenty of questions about how I was recovering, but the best I could do was nod, smile, and assure them that I was fine. The truth was, I didn't even have a scar. I couldn't have pointed out where on my arm I had been cut if someone had asked me. When Ito and his followers, now the guardians of the Imperial Tomb, left, the compound seemed suddenly very empty. I felt like the Shinsengumi was falling apart around me, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Was this nothing more than a natural result of the Shinsengumi's growth, or the harbinger of something far greater and more terrible? I don't know. July 1867. I should go to sleep. as if chiding myself would help. My mind was wide awake. I wasn't falling asleep anytime soon. But why? I was nervous, certainly, and I trained earlier that day, but neither of those was anything new. I needed to get some sleep soon, or I'd oversleep in the morning, and that would be embarrassing. As I forced my eyes shut for the 1000th time, I heard the door to my room slide open.
Are you awake?
Yes. Please let it be Harada. Oh no, it's Hijikata, darn it. The voice outside belonged to Hijikata. I scrambled to my feet. What is it?
You have a visitor.
A visitor? Who would come visit me? A number of people. Your father, the good doctor, your lookalike?
You'll see. Hurry up.
Right. I shuffled down the hallway after him and burst into the common room. Kondo, Okita, Harada, Nagakura, all of the top men in the Shinsengumi were there, and so was someone else. Aha! Hello, Chizuru. How are you doing? Sen! My visitor was Sen? We'd met in Kyoto proper some time ago. She was nearly my age, but had a unique and overwhelming personality, which had allowed her to see right through my disguise. But why had she come to the Shinsengumi? Only then did I notice a beautiful woman dressed as a ninja seated next to Sen. Ooh, she is really pretty. Oh yes, she is with me. My bodyguard, one might say. Bodyguard? Then answered nothing and only prompted more questions. The captains kept silent, content to simply observe our conversation. Whatever was about to transpire, it seemed they intended to leave the decision to me. So, Sen, why are you here? I've come to take you. That had not been on the short list I'd begun to compile of reasons Sen had sought my company in the middle of the night. A quick glance around the room revealed that it had not been anyone else's either. Pardon? I don't understand what you're saying. No, what you don't understand is the situation. But you needn't worry. You do trust me, don't you? I certainly didn't suspect her of anything untoward, but... There's no time. We must make preparations to leave immediately. Silent until that moment, the woman at Sen's elbows finally spoke. Wait, hold on. Why should I go with you?
Yeah, that's a darn good question. You just barge in here, ask the seer, and spring this on us? I think it's about time you told us what the hell's going on here.
Please, Sen. I didn't let my gaze waver from her eyes. Yes, I do suppose you have a point. Very well, I shall begin at the beginning. She cast her gaze around the room. This explanation was not simply for my benefit. You are familiar with Kazuma, yes? I hear you have crossed swords with him once or twice.
How'd you know that?
Oh, well, I hear of most things that happen in Kyoto eventually.
You're something like Kazuma and his punks, aren't you?
I would rather prefer not to be associated with his ilk, but yes, in a sense you are correct.
Fine. You were talking about Kazuma. He showed up at Ikedaya, Hamaguri, and Nijo. He's got something to do with Satsuma and the Choshu, hasn't he? Well, most of the time it seemed more like he was there for his own reasons, not any kind of domain politics. Either way, he's an enemy of the Shinsengumi.
Then, are you also aware that he is pursuing your lady friend here? Sen gestured at me for the captain's benefit, then fixed me with a level stare. What was going on? This was getting stranger and stranger, and I was starting to think I didn't really want to know the rest of the story.
We are aware of that. We are also aware that Kazuma and his compatriots call themselves demons. Not that we're inclined to believe such a claim, of course. Regardless, we must consider it. They have demonstrated several times that they have strength and skill beyond that of any human. Huh. Guess you'd know, huh, Sonon?
The room grew slightly more uncomfortable. I don't think Okita had meant to offend with his remarks, but... So, go on, Sen. Ah, then you know they are demons. Excellent. That will save me some time, then. I am not human either. I am also a demon. A demon? Sen was a demon? I am, in fact, a princess, Princess Sen! With that, she gave us an elegant bow, exactly like one might expect from a princess.
I come from a family of ninja who have served Sen and her family for generations. I'd wondered why you were being so friendly. You were gathering information on the Shinsengumi. I have no idea what you mean.
She tilted her head to the side politely and met Hijikata's glare with an innocent smile.
You know her?
Oh, she was the geisha, okay.
Move your eyes up about 6 inches, Shinpachi. That's Kimikiku. She's, dressed a little different from when we met her in Shimbara, but that's her face all right. What?
Nagakura nearly fell over in shock. After recovering, he made a great show of staring pointedly at Kimikiku's face. For his effort, he received a smile identical to the one Hijikata had received. We demons have lived in this country since a very long time ago. The top officials in the shogunate and in many of the domains already know of us. It was still something of a shock, but after seeing Kazuma and his companions, it was somewhat easier to accept Sen's explanation as the truth. Most demons had no interest in human matters, and preferred to be left alone, to go about their own affairs in peace. However, humans in position of power saw that they might achieve great things with the assistance of demons, and so demanded that assistance. And did the demons obey? Many did not. They felt they had no obligation to involve themselves in human affairs. Human ambition meant nothing to them. But when they refused, the human lords were furious. They sent out great armies to destroy the villages of the demons. How horrible! The demon clans scattered across the country and were perforce sent into hiding. No longer isolated in their own communities, demons began to mate with humans. These days, there are few demons who can claim pure bloodline.
And I assume Kazuma is one of these.
Sen nodded. Currently, the largest pureblood family in the West is the Kazuma, who have supported the Satsuma domain. The head of that family you have already met, Chikage Kazuma. Chikage Kazuma. In the past, the largest family is the Yukimura. What? I had heard the Yukimura family had been destroyed, but it would seem there is a survivor. That survivor is her. Chizuru, the blood that runs in your veins is pure and strong. I sense great power from you. No way. But... No, you are very much a demon. I apologize, but there it is. The finality of her words brought a cold silence to the room. I had no desire to believe her story, but the more I thought back to events that had seemed utterly nonsensical, the more it made sense. Now I knew why Kazuma was after me, and why I had always healed so much more quickly than anyone else. If Chizuru is indeed the descendant of a pure-blooded demon, then Kazuma's desire for her is clear. Should two purebloods mate, they will produce an even more powerful demon.
So he wants her for his bride.
After a fashion, yes. Kazuma will definitely return for her. Thus far, he has been content to toy with you, but I cannot guess how much longer that may last. Should he devote all his formidable abilities to this task, I do not think you will be able to protect her. Even the Shinsengumi cannot stand against the true power of a demon.
Whoa there, princess. You don't think that's going a bit far? Shinpachi's right. You aren't giving us enough credit.
The only reason you are still alive is because Kazuma and his companions have not turned their full strength on you.
Then let them. I should dearly like to see the power of a true demon.
Sonon! Kazuma and his friends had already demonstrated incredible strength. Even the captains of the Shinsengumi had been easily brushed aside. If that was not even the full extent of their strength, then a battle to the death against one of them would be...
Let me be clear, lady. We're the Shinsengumi, the wolves of Mibu. We're not going to piss ourselves over a demon or two. Very true. Besides, we got the demon himself in command, don't we? Always have to have the last word, don't you?
I understand how you feel, but you must realize that these men are unlike any other foe you have faced before. That is why I must ask you to leave Chizuru to us. In our care, her chances of survival will be much higher.
Hey, give us a chance, alright? Are you trying to say we can't protect her?
Yep, that's what she's saying.
Besides, what do you mean, chances? If you can't guarantee her safety, I don't see why we should hand her over to you. Look, lady, you're not part of the Shinsengumi, so I'd appreciate it if you would just keep your nose out of our business, alright?
They had made it quite clear that they weren't interested in Sen's offer. Perhaps they'd been a little harsh, but I couldn't deny the warm feeling of being part of a family who was unwilling to let me go.
What about you, Hijikata?
You've acknowledged Kazuma's strength. Surely you must at least consider the princess's offer. Please give Chizuru to us.
That's different.
Kimigiku's smile froze.
I don't know how strong our enemy really is, but that doesn't change the fact that we'll protect her in the name of the Shinsengumi. Besides, you're a demon too. Why should we trust you?
Do you know who you're speaking to? Princess Sen is a descendant of Suzuka Gozen. Kimigiku, please! That's not necessary. Her tone was calm and friendly, but it left no room for argument.
I agree with Hijikata. She should stay here with the Shinsengumi.
Kimigiku glared at Sonon, but said nothing. Oh, she is so pretty. I see. That is a problem, then. There is no way I can convince you? Kondo had remained silent for most of the discussion, his arms folded in thought, but at last he spoke.
Yukimura, what do you have to say about this?
Me? Well,
I see. It must be difficult to discuss with an audience. You ought to speak with Princess Sen alone. What the hell, Kondo?
Hijikata wasn't the only one to object. Most of the room rose up in protest. Wow, they've really gotten attached to me, apparently.
There should be at least one witness. The princess may take Kimigiku as well, of course. No, that's not necessary.
Kondo swept his gaze across the room.
Yukimura has shown herself to be responsible. I've no doubt she won't do anything foolish. Am I correct, Yukimura?
Of course. I would never betray you, any of you.
Well, if Kondo says so.
His words spoke for the rest of them as well. They might not like it, but Kondo was the chief. What he said went.
You won't steal her away the moment the two of you are alone, will you?
You needn't worry. I am not like Kazuma. I'll be fine. Sen isn't a bad person. Why, thank you, Chizuru. You don't know that. You only just met her. Well, I met her before, but briefly. She smiled. A few moments later, we found ourselves alone in my room. I know I've given you a terrible amount of things to think on this evening, and I'm awfully sorry. Now that we were alone, she was less formal. This was the Sen I had met in Kyoto all those months ago. No, it's all right. I'm sorry about, them. They said some pretty mean things. Well, that's to be expected, I fear. I was asking rather a lot of them, and frightfully suddenly. Not many humans would accept the existence of a demon so readily. Oh my god, I'm reading so horribly today. But enough of that. On to business. What do you say to my offer? Have you thought on it? I had indeed. If Sen came to me when I'd first arrived at Kyoto, I might have taken her up on her hospitality. But now... The Shinsengumi seems to believe that it can protect you. Though I do not doubt their dedication, I confess I do doubt their ability. Perhaps what she said was true. To stand against demons would be no mean feat. The Shinsengumi was powerful and skilled. I'd seen them face overwhelming odds and emerge victorious, but always those odds had been only human. The strength of even a single demon was something great and terrible. Of that there was no doubt. We had all seen so firsthand, and some even lost their lives to that strength. Even the captains had nearly fallen before them. Will you come with us then? It is dangerous for you to remain with the Shinsengumi. Sen. Her eyes were serious but warm and honest. Whatever else she might be, her concerns for me were real. Thank you, Sen, but... I hesitated. Is there a reason you wish to stay? Yes, Harada. Yeah. And actually there we're going to stop this video because obviously my tongue is not working at all tonight, so I just can't do it anymore. And plus, it's already 1 o'clock and before I go to sleep I want to try out We Happy Few. Sorry it's only one video for tonight of Hakuouki, but don't worry, there will be plenty more where that came from. So I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.